The magazine Cat Fancy has an informational website of guidelines for freelance writers who may wish to submit material. It's pretty standard stuff, what kind of articles they're looking for, word count, what times of year they're open to submissions. It's very standard and normal. One of our writer-performers, Christina Baldwin, pointed me to this and said, look at the comments on this thing, because you'll be entertained. That site has a comment section where cat journalism freelancers have some very strong feelings. We now present some of these actual comments as short dramatic monologues. This is Cat Fancy Writers Guidelines User Comment Theater.
Dan, Ingram, Texas. You failed to quote your rates paid. Even if they are widely flexible, you could still quote a ballpark standard or a minimum maximum in each category. Not citing your rates sends writers rather quickly to the websites of your competition. You are likely to pay at least as much as your competition, but why should I have to wait until January to find that out? The piece I have written will have probably been printed by then.
Sandy, Vancouver, Washington. Why do you only accept submissions between January and May? I have a great story about cats taking...
It gets emotional. It's okay.
Sweet.
I have a great story about taking cats to the cottage that I want to submit now!
Wendy, New York, New York. I'm surprised that an author's past work is requested. What difference does it make what they wrote before? Is it not what they write for Cat Fancy, which is important?
She's got a good point. Dwayne, International. As a freelance cartoonist, it's a total pain in the butt jumping over all your unnecessary hurdles to get something published. You're all the same. The high and mighty critics who don't understand how much effort goes into each piece. I won't even consider sending you material.
Joe, Middleton, Maryland. Your writer's guidelines are crystal clear, and I understand why you require samples of previously published writing.
That's good. I like that one. That's my favorite. It's our moms. That's great.
Abigail, Williamsburg, Virginia. Hello! I think you should accept cat poems, too.
Emmy from San Diego, California. Gosh, I was hoping to submit an article, but after reading the other comments, I am going to steer clear of this publication. Also, your submission guidelines have a very stern tone that actually invites potential writers to look elsewhere. I could have written the guidelines that would actually welcome writers. It's a shame because I could have been a valuable contributor.
Nadia, North Bergen, New Jersey. My husband and I are artists. We are interested in showing Cat Fancy readers a short comical comic strip of cats, specific breeds each month, doing silly, rememberable moments. Could someone please point me in the right direction?
Susan, Dallas, Texas. I don't care for it. I've read many of your articles, and frankly, I don't see what is so special. As a novice writer and cat lover, I find it hard to believe you have the expertise to be so critical.
Anna, Madison, Indiana. Hello! Just wondering if Cat Fancy accepts poetry submissions.
I love that guy.
Bobby, Rochester Hills, Michigan. These are fairly standard freelance guidelines. I'm not seeing the problem. Am I missing something?
Benny, Bradenton, Florida. The one thing I need to know is not included. Do you accept articles about cats that live both indoors and outdoors?
This is from my uncle. Arnie, International. I have a great idea for a new book about cats and dogs together in the same book. You will corner the market with this book, which I already use in my elementary classroom presentations. May I submit my idea and some of my cat and dog poetry?
Sandra, Sarasota, Florida. I wonder why you only accept queries between January and May. I understand you plan your issues far in advance, but wouldn't having your articles ahead of time help you do that? Obviously, I have an article I would like to submit on my cat's experience with radioactive iodine treatment for hypothyroidism. But it appears I must wait until January to submit my query.
Deborah, Charlestown, Rhode Island. Hi. In your November 2010 issue, you have an article on cat names. You asked for names which could to those in your article. Well, we adopted Miss Katie Sunshine, but we can't claim credit for her name as her previous owners gave her that name, and she is our sunshine. We named her baby boy Mr. Frisky Business. He is frisky, and he is our small business. We adore them both. Best, Deborah and Frank.
Nothing to do with the writer's guidelines whatsoever. Brenda, Bowling Green, Kentucky. I think Cat Fancy shouldn't be so uppity about its readers' submitted manuscripts or brief stories. After all, are the movie stars your largest supporters? Or are you in business because of us ordinary cat lovers who buy your magazine? I will not buy your magazine now that I know how snooty you are about hearing from us or our reading our stories submitted. You lost me as a customer for sure.
Ramona, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Great guidelines. I have most of my questions answered.
Christine, Union Grove, Wisconsin. Hello! The guidelines are very clear. However, there is no mention of poetry. And this is my specialty. Do you accept poetry for submission? Thank you.
Danny Pudi, Har Mar Superstar, Christina, Baldwin, Mike Fotis, Janie Winterbauer, and me as aspiring cat writers.